To show you, these of course are the images from outside the Vredenburg Magistrates Court, where a short while ago police let off stun grenades as well as tear gas, and this barbed wire you see here is what was erected earlier this morning as the community members clamoured to get inside court. There have been calls for justice for Joslin.
But we are here for the sole purpose of finding Joslin, of finding out where she is, and our demand is justice for Joslin and nothing else. This can't be a political play ball.
The emotions is very high. We've been searching for a whole week now. We went like 3 times up in the dunes. We went by all the fields, all the houses that we can search. We were there, but there's just no sign of Joslin.
You know, people say that she just vanished. No, people do not just vanish. Everybody sees something. Whether it's stuck in your mind and you forget about it and later on you remember, but somebody must have seen her somewhere. Somebody must have seen who she was with. Somebody must have seen her playing somewhere. It doesn't matter if it's going to make people angry that you saw it or what. It's your obligation and your responsibility as a citizen of this country to take whatever evidence you have or whatever information you have and take it to SAP so that we can find her. Because if we keep things to ourselves, it can be your child tomorrow.
Welcome to or welcome back to my channel, and thank you very much for joining me here again today. I hope you have all been well. The last time we spoke, we talked about the case of Sarita Brits, which is a case that you do not want to miss. And if you have not seen that, I'll link it up here for you. But today we're going to talk about a case that is absolutely taking the world by storm, and that is the case of Joslin Smith. This is an unsolved case, and by the date that we are posting this, we do not know what has happened to Joslin. There is so much information about this case, but so little at the same time. And even though it is unsolved and this case is still developing, I wanted to talk about it to hopefully keep the momentum going in trying to find Joslin. So with that being said, let's get into today's case.
Intended for mature audiences only.
Today we are heading to Saldanha Bay in the Western Cape. This area is known for its paradise for those who enjoy water sport. The local economy is strongly dependent on fishing and seafood processing. Not only that, but the area of Saldanha plays a really important role of the Sishen Saldanha iron ore project. The town was allegedly named after Antonia de Saldanha, who was a captain that visited South Africa in 1503. Saldanha is an absolutely stunning place, and I really recommend visiting if you can. But we cannot ignore the fact of the employment rate in the area, and some of the social concerns in the town is that of drug or alcohol-related crimes. And because there is such a need for alcohol or drugs, shebeens operate and there is alcohol everywhere. And if you are stuck in a cycle of low income or poverty, it's difficult to escape it, and sadly, people sometimes feel there's no way out. So with this case, I feel that it is quite the difficult one because, like I said right in the beginning, there is a lot of information, but so little at the same time. There's so many different stories and different inputs, but nothing is really pointing to the actual facts about what happened to Joslin. And I do feel like the story has a lot more information that we're being told, and I assume because the case is still so fresh. And we do know that out of the 5 suspects that were arrested, somebody knows something and someone is not speaking up. So with that being said, Joslin Smith was a 6-year-old girl, also had 2 siblings, and they lived with their mom, Kelly Smith, and her mom's boyfriend, Jacquin Apollo, nicknamed Butter. The area that they lived in was an informal settlement called Middle Plus. Joslin, like I said, is in grade 1. She's bright, beautiful, and had so much to look forward to in life. She loves having her hair done, dressing up, and is said to be kind and very free-spirited. Now let's get into what we know about this case so far. Most of the reports say that on the 19th of February 2024, so just over a month ago, Joslin was at home with Kelly's boyfriend, and they lived, like I said, all together, and Joslin was alone at home with Jacquin because she wasn't feeling well at all and Kelly had to go to work. And according to the Saldanha community, they saw her playing outside, and all of a sudden they turned their back and Joslin had vanished into thin air. And that would be the last time that anyone has seen or heard from her since the 19th of February 2024. So later, when police reports were filed, Kelly, the mom, was asked and questioned about what happened that day, and this is what she had to say. When Kelly was questioned, she said that Jacquin was home with Joslin that day and looking after her as she was home from school ill. Later, when Kelly returned at around 5 p.m, she said that both her boyfriend and Joslin were not at home. Kelly then proceeded to do her normal evening duties, and when Jacquin returned, she asked him what happened to Joslin that day. Jacqueline, when questioned, said to reporters, quote, "She told me she was going to play with her friend. That was the last time I saw her. I'm really honest," end quote.
On 2, I see her the last time. When she tells me that she's going to go play with a friend of her, I saw her the last time, and that's really, I'm really honest.
According to Kelly, she couldn't get a hold of Apollos when she got back from work at 5, and when he finally rocked up, she asked where her child was, and he couldn't account. But Apollos has a different version.
I was at home like normal. I was at home.
And you started being concerned around maybe what time when she was not coming back home?
On 6 with the mother. The mother was with me. From the mother come home, the mother was with me. Until 6 o'clock, then we was getting concerned for where there's a kid. Then we started looking, and we didn't find her.
If there is something, they must tell the truth. Because I can blame him. I can blame him. He was the boyfriend, and Joslin was in his care, but I can blame him. If there is no evidence of something like this, I can point my finger to him on the moment. But if there is evidence against him of somebody, I can point my finger, not now on the moment.
So that is what he said to reporters, that apparently Joslin went to go and play with some friends at around 2 p.m. that day, and then he went out because he didn't have to stay home with Joslin anymore. But of course, as the day progresses, Joslin didn't return from this alleged friend, and so Kelly and Jacqueline then headed over to the police station to report Joslin missing. Now, since that report has been opened for Joslin, there have been so many conflicting reports and finger-pointing about this case. So let's get into the conflicting reports. So if we go to Kelly's boyfriend, Jacqueline Apollos, some people say that he is a Sangoma. And this is where a lot of the ball started rolling with this case, is the fact around a Sangoma. And if you're not South African, a Sangoma is a traditional healer. And these traditional healers are highly skilled. They can interpret dreams. They can make medicines, or muti as we call it back home. They can speak to spirits or bring spirits in to help healing, or can also change the weather or have an impact on the weather and predict future. Sometimes Sangomas will also use animal bones as part of their rituals, but there is also a lesser known and a much darker evil in terms of traditional medicine. And I'm not talking about the real traditional healers and traditional medicine. I'm talking about those who pose as Sangomas and use human body parts. True Sangomas do not use human body parts as part of their medicine or muti or of their healing. So with this dark side, there are a lot of reports in South Africa that sometimes people will bring body parts to Sangomas and ask them to give them their deepest desires. And these Sangomas will say that they need this body part from this person to be able to complete this ritual. And that is where a lot of this case was based around, that apparently or allegedly Joslin was sold to a Sangoma and they used part of her body for a ritual of some kind. So as soon as the police report was filed for Joslin, the police really did hit the ground running, because the 2 people who reported Joslin missing were arrested. They couldn't come up with a story that matched, so police were not having it and brought them both in. Them being Kelly, Joslin's mom, and her boyfriend Jacqueline. These 2 remain the main suspects today. As a side note, near Joslin's home, there was a pair of bloody children's shorts and a knife that was found near her home. The police have tested this for DNA, and it is not Joslin's blood that is on these shorts. However, then the question bears, whose child's bloody shorts is this, and is that child okay? There are just so many questions in this case. But if we go back to the suspects, as soon as Kelly and Jacqueline were brought in, finger pointing started and 2 other people were brought in as well. One being Stavino van Rijn, who's Jacqueline's friend, and originally Pumza Sigatla. Pumza was in the spotlight as she was named as the Sangoma that Joslin was sold to, and a lot of blame was placed on her. However, these 4 were brought into the dock and they were all questioned. Since that questioning, Pumza's house has been checked, and she has since been released without charge. Police do say that they are only releasing Pumza provisionally and if they find any evidence that could link her to this case, they will rearrest her. However, since she has been released, she has apparently gone into hiding. And I'm not quite sure how to read that. She may have gone into hiding because the community that she lived in, some people did believe that she was a Sangoma. Most of them didn't believe that she was, and they wanted her to be released. They thought that she had nothing to do with this case. However, she may have gone into hiding because she felt that she was now ostracized within her community, but she could also be hiding something, and that's why she's gone into hiding. So we're not quite sure here. But as for now, police do not deem her a part of this case, and she is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. But there are still 4 people in the dock, because not long after Pumza was released, another lady was arrested because she came forward saying that she had something to do and help with kidnapping Joslin Smith.
Laurentia Lombard, also known as Rance, is the 5th person arrested for the disappearance of Joslin Smith. But since charges were dropped against Pumza Sigaka, Lombard will now stand as accused number 4 in the case. She will be back in court on the 13th of May with the other co-accused, including Joslin's mother, Kelly Smith. Lombard, a mother of 2, was taken in for questioning with another person last week and was subsequently arrested after confessing to her role in the 6-year-old's disappearance.
So this case is really confusing. There are so many reports, there are so many people coming out of the woodworks. Apparently Stavino, who is Jacqueline's friend, he is also allegedly confessing to say things that happened on that day. We're not quite sure what he has said, but he is now coming forward with what he believes happened. So many people are confessing, pointing fingers, but still Joslin is not home. As mentioned, the 4 people in this dock have been arrested and they are facing charges of human trafficking and kidnapping. Kelly Smith, Joslin's mom, is by far the most shocking piece in this horrendous puzzle because rumors keep circulating and they keep focusing on the fact that Joslin was taken and all orchestrated by Kelly for only 20,000 rand. Now don't get me wrong, 20,000 rand is a lot of money, but this is baby Joslin's potential life that she had allegedly given to a Sangoma to perform some type of ritual. Kelly Smith and Jacqueline have refused or withdrawn their efforts to be freed on bail, so they will stay in prison until the trial resumes. This case is clearly evolving and we will need to come back to it once we know more information, but this case will continue in May of this year, so we're waiting for trial to continue. So with this case, not only were there conflicting reports about what happened to Joslin and what is the true story behind it, but there's also conflicting reports on how involved the police were or weren't in this case. I do think that police really were trying their best right in the beginning of this case to find Joslin. They know how important it is to bring a child home within the first 48 hours of them being reported missing, because they brought out the Navy because of the close proximity to the ocean of Saldanha, and they brought out drones, they brought out sniffer dogs. There was a lot of foot traffic and police patrol around the area. Not only that, but there was also the community who were involved. There were so many people looking for Joslin that I find it hard to believe that police were not involved right in the beginning, especially because of how quickly they arrested Kelly and Jacqueline as well. However, with the community being involved, with friends being involved, family, police, there are so many different types of reports and alleged stories coming from different people that police were pulled in so many directions and getting false information. So they were going to places that clearly Joslin wasn't at all and wasting resources and time going to these places. So this really delayed their search in trying to find Joslin.
Our ultimate goal is to find the child so that a closure can be done. And as we pray that we still want to find that child alive, we make an appeal to everyone, every citizen or every person in this country, and in particular in Western Cape, to assist us to find the child. But in that assistance should not be interpreted to mean do investigation, because we, the police, are doing that investigation. Actually, there is a legislation that in terms of the Cybercrime Act, that a person can be charged for distributing false informations.
And I wanted to end this by saying that we really do wish and hope for Joslin's safe return. We want her to be brought home alive and as quickly as possible. And I think with most people who watch crime videos or documentaries, It is scary, the amount of time that Joslin has been away from her family. And it does sadden me to read comments where people say that, oh, if a Sangoma was involved, she's definitely not coming back. And it is a very scary thought. However, on the flip side, I do believe that there is hope. There are so many people putting pressure on police. There are so many people in the community not letting this go. They want Joslin's return. And hopefully, if we keep putting pressure onto this case, we can smoke out these culprits out of wherever they're hiding and we can bring Joslin home. But let me know what you think of this case down below, who you think it is, what you really think happened. Let me know all your thoughts down below. I hope that you have a wonderful weekend further. Please stay safe out there and I'll see you again next time. Bye.